I'm here in Nairobi in Kenya. Nairobi is the capital of Kenya and has about 4.8 million inhabitants. It's a fast-growing, vibrant city. It's the tech hub of Eastern Africa. Kenya itself has 56 million inhabitants and 30 million of those are using M-Pesa, which is mobile money. The Bitcoin adoption here in Kenya is very high. It's one of the 3 African countries with the highest adoption of Bitcoin. That is South Africa, Nigeria and Kenya. And we're going to meet a couple of projects here on the ground who are using Bitcoin for their special use cases. Come with us and join us on this journey through Kenya. We're on our way to meet Sabina and Jason from Tando. Tando is an app with which you can pay in Bitcoin and the recipient receives Kenyan shillings directly into their M-Pesa account. M-Pesa is mobile money that is being used by 30 million people in Kenya. So that basically means I can pay for anything with Bitcoin now. Okay, let's talk about Tando. It's actually what I have been waiting for years. It's so fascinating to come here to Kenya, to not have any Kenyan shillings and be able to spend Bitcoin and pay people here via M-Pesa mobile money. Sabina and Jason, please explain how did you get the idea to build such a solution?
Thank you so much, Anita. So the idea came to us when we were trying to orange peel people. We are Bitcoiners, so everywhere we go, we want to orange peel everyone. So we'd go to restaurants or with a cab driver, and we are talking to them about this amazing new better money for everyone. And we decided to start tipping them in Bitcoin so they can experience it. But the next question will always be, how can I spend this money? Because most people here in Kenya, they live paycheck to paycheck. So when they get this thing, they're not gonna hodl it for long term. They want to spend it. And honestly, we didn't have a great answer to that. So we decided, someone needs to create a solution for this. And at first we were skeptical about it. We didn't want to go through with it. But then after attending the African Bitcoin-Conference, that was the spark that inspired us to do it. And that's how the idea came by and we built it. And here we are. So yes.
Yes, and you're completely right. I think it's a missing link for Bitcoin adoption because, as you say, Bitcoin people here have to spend their Bitcoin because they live paycheck to paycheck. So, Jason, maybe you can tell us a little bit about the background of Tando. I'm fascinated by how fast my payment in Bitcoin is basically in M-Pesa, in a taxi driver's M-Pesa account. How does this work?
Sure. So we're fortunate enough that in Kenya, M-Pesa has very good payment rails. It's one of the benefits of this country and really leapfrogged them forward in terms of mobile money. And so we just kind of plug into the M-Pesa rails. Basically, we have a shilling balance and you give us the till number that you want to pay and the amount, and we convert the Bitcoin into shillings and send shillings out the back end so that the merchant doesn't have to change their whole process, their business process. And by doing that, we can get a lot of people spending Bitcoin more often, and then eventually businesses will come around and want to accept Bitcoin natively, and we kind of joke around that hopefully one day we go out of business because everyone accepts Bitcoin and you don't need Tando.
We've built on the M-Pesa payment rails, and this is because it makes the transition to Bitcoin very natural because people are already using these systems. It's what they use every day, they're familiar with. So we are just adding Bitcoin is a powerful new feature on M-Pesa. And yeah, everyone knows M-Pesa, they use it here. So it's gonna be very natural and it doesn't feel like it's an alien thing. And like he said, Kenya is advantage in that most people here, they already are familiar with the mobile money concept. So it's not, Bitcoin as a digital money is not very new to them. And that's a huge plus for Tando.
And also you see the till numbers everywhere. So you go into a business, even if it's a small shop on the corner where you buy a banana, you can buy the banana with your old mobile phone just by sending text messages. That's what mobile money is basically. But you now made the railway basically so that everyone can use their Bitcoin and pay anyone in the country. And this is really huge. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Can I tip you on M-Pesa?
Yes.
Wie das funktioniert, möchte ich euch natürlich auch in der Praxis zeigen. Dafür gebe ich in der Tando App die M-Pesa-Nummer des Empfängers sowie einen Geldbetrag ein. Und dann wird mir eine Bitcoin Lightning Invoice erstellt, die ich über meine Lightning Wallet bezahlen kann. So zahle ich in Satz und mein Gegenüber erhält direkt kenianische Shilling in den M-Pesa-Account.
So thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Und das funktioniert natürlich nicht nur mit Trinkgeld. Jedes Unternehmen, jeder kleine Stand, jede Tankstelle, alle akzeptieren M-Pesa. Das heißt, wir konnten alles mit Bitcoin bezahlen.
That's the power of Bitcoin, baby.
We are on the way to the center of Nairobi to meet Yoram, the co-founder of BitSacco. Sacco is basically a community banking organization, and he is building one running on Bitcoin. And we're going to town now to meet him and to see how this is working. Okay, Joram,
Hi.
you founded BitSacco.
Yes.
Can you please explain what it is? Maybe you start, what is a Sacco?
Yeah.
Because I have seen a lot of buses
Mm-hmm.
that are called Sacco.
Yeah, that's a very good observation. So SACCO is a model of banking where you have members come together. Essentially, they run a community bank. So the members of the bank themselves own the bank compared to regular banks where you have shareholders and board, what have you. So that's a clear difference. Now, you see SACCOs here, they're formed for a very specific perspective. The example you gave is buses. We call them matatu SACCOs, where matatus are like public transport. Members would come together and they'll have a mission, like we're going to buy a number of buses, we're going to operate them. That is our main business as a SACCO. Right. BitSacco is the same way, but the mandate, the mission of the SACCO, of the community bank, is to help the members of the community hold, access, and use Bitcoin. People can access Bitcoin today, but it is really hard. Either you're going to need some solutions for you to move from Kenya Shillings to Bitcoin if you're trying to buy Bitcoin. At BitSacco, we think putting access, like giving access to Bitcoin through a very familiar banking model, it should be an unlock, you know? We talk to users and they're like, oh, okay, I know what a SACCO is. I know how a SACCO operates. What is Bitcoin? And it's like, oh, it's a new form of money, it's a digital asset, right? And now you can access it through the trusted and safety mechanisms of a SACCO.
So you're using the Fedimint protocol.
Mm-hmm.
Can you explain in an easy, understandable way what that is and what
Yes.
it does?
Yes. Well, the Verstehen protocol defines a way for a group of people to hold Bitcoin together. Even more, it's like just a subset of the group distribute the control of the Bitcoin, but they can then scale that control. So in the context that we're using Fedimint, we are saying, hey, we have the guardians. We have a few people, 5 or more, who can sign for the Bitcoin and who are trusted by the community. Now, on top of this, any other member of the community, any other member of the SACCO can move and have access to their Bitcoin.
Okay,
Yes.
great.
Yes.
Then you basically issue eCash tokens.
Yeah.
And people then use the eCash tokens to exchange Bitcoin with each other.
Mm.
Yeah. But it's not really
Yeah.
Bitcoin, it's eCash, which has the advantage that it's
Yeah.
fully private, right?
Yeah, it's not yet fully defined, as in each member gets eCash. So one thing we are trying is we just want the on-ramp part, moving from Kenya Shillings to Bitcoin to be super easy, right? So in our interface, we build a way for someone to say, hey, I want 100 Kenya Shillings worth of Bitcoin, right? So we go pull that money from mobile money, and on the other side, we allocate them the eCash. Yes, so that is our earliest, that's on-ramp, right? Meaning they have an eCash account, right? But we are in the early stages of learning, of figuring out how much exposure or training we need to give to the eventual user on like eCash, because eCash is a very powerful tool. You can literally print it and hold it. Yes. So that's one example. Another one is we do group savings. So for the first time, we're trying group savings. So this is a smaller group than the Sacco itself. There's a larger community, but there's a group. We call this chamas, right? So a chama has an eCash account inside BitSacco.
Okay. The guardians hold the Bitcoin in the whole Sacco.
Yes.
And then you have chamas.
Which is small.
Are they then decentralized? So they don't have their own guardians?
No, they don't.
The one guardians for everything?
Yes, yes.
Is it only to hold Bitcoin at the moment? Or can people also use the eCash in the BitSacco to pay each other or someone else?
They can.
They can?
Yeah, they can. They can even withdraw it back to Lightning as Bitcoin, yes.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay. In the future, everyone will be having a BitSacco wallet?
So every single member of BitSacco, they get a personal wallet. So that is eCash, that is only for them, right? They can be part of a chama, which is they join a group wallet within BitSacco. We have other products lined up in future.
And are you in any way scared because you have to KYC people that the government might shut you down or surveil people and the Bitcoin? What's your thoughts on that?
I think we are at risk. The singular instance that is BitSacco in Kenya obviously is at risk from the regulatory capture of the country. But the goal, one of our defined goals, is to be a bridge where people get familiar with Bitcoin, people can move into Bitcoin and then easily move off to more secure stuff or more,
okay,
yes.
So it's an entry on an entry level. You can then go into self-custody or things like that.
Yeah.
See. And you also have the eCash payments which are private anyways.
Yes.
Which is great.
Yeah, so if you had to move, you can even move in a more private way out. Yeah.
Thank you very much, John.
All right.
I'm looking forward to the launch in 9 days. I can't use it because I can't KYC here, right?
Yes.
Or will you do a demo?
We will do a demo.
Great.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, nice.
I'm on my way to the Afro-Bitcoin-Konferenz. It's happening the first time here in Nairobi, Kenya. It's the biggest Bitcoin-only conference on the continent. I'm going to do a talk on Bitcoin, an introduction. We're also going to set up a wallet. I'm also a part of 2 panels. One panel is about how to apply for a grant for an educational initiative here on the ground. And the second panel is about women in this space.
We need an open protocol for money transmission. We require it for our future. We got into mining at Block because we saw that there was a risk in centralization of mining, and specifically one manufacturer who was making these chips.
My name is Anita Posch. I'm the founder of Bitcoin for Fairness. We helped set up local initiatives in Zambia, in Zimbabwe, in South Africa, in Namibia, in Ghana, in Botswana. Our goal is to train the trainers and help scale Bitcoin education and knowledge here in African countries. So Bitcoin has several use cases. One of those that is most widely known is investing, as people say. I rather say it's saving. I save my money that I can afford in Bitcoin. Why is Bitcoin such a great savings instrument? It's also because there's a limited supply in Bitcoin. So there will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin. That makes Bitcoin a scarce monetary tool. I said before, national inflation, central banks, politicians can inflate the amount of money that's circulating. If you think of a banknote like a good, If the demand for a good is high, then the price goes up. If the demand for a good is low or stays the same and the supply is being inflated, the price goes down. And that's actually happening with your national currency as well. The best way actually to get Bitcoin is to earn it. You are doing a service, you're a merchant, you are a freelancer, for instance, you're a developer, then you can buy Bitcoin on exchanges like in Kenya. I know a lot of people are using Bitnob or Binance. So South Africa, Nigeria and Kenya are actually the African countries with the highest adoption of Bitcoin. You can buy electricity with Bitcoin, and your groceries, of course, you can also buy with Bitcoin there. You can overcome banking problems with that. I know of cases where people from South Africa send money to their mother in Ethiopia with Bitrefill airtime, and the mother then sells the airtime in her house to her neighbors, and that's the way how she gets cash. Or in Kenya, I know that many women don't have inheritance rights. They are not allowed to own anything, property for instance, so they don't have securities to go to the bank and say, I have a business, can I please get a loan? No, they won't, because they don't have securities. With Bitcoin, they can own their own money, no one can take it away from them, and they gain independence. That's why we say Bitcoin is freedom money. No one can hinder you from using it, it's uncensorable. So if you have protests going on or whatever, your authoritarian government can't close down your account because they don't have access to it. There's no bank that is an intermediary. Remittances are fast, they are cheaper, you don't have to go to Western Union to get it, and things like that. So at the moment, if you look at the traditional banking system, if you pay with a PayPal transaction, for instance, if you buy something and the seller receives your money, you have up to 7 intermediaries in that equation until your money reaches the point. Every one of them gets money out of you. Every one of them can shut down your account. With Bitcoin, it's only you and the other person. There are no intermediaries. You don't need to trust anyone. The technology can be trusted because the code is open source.
One, two, three.
Bitcoin!